Cold open on a Sunday. You're back for another horror panel right here on Longbox Punk. That's me. I'm Kris. I'm the Longbox Punk. I don't know how you might be possibly confused by that. My face is all over everything here on this YouTube channel or on Facebook, if you might be watching on Facebook live right now. Also, I thought of this earlier, and we're just already hitting the bricks running. With the two people that I have on the stream with me tonight, I don't know who's going to be watching the stream tonight, because it's usually these two rad dudes right here that I'm joined with on this fourth horror panel. Yes, it's the fourth, but Kris, there have only been 3 that have aired, and this is the third. You're right, but the fourth one is going to have a makeup date, which is actually the third one, but it'll be tomorrow after this fourth one. Don't think about it too long. You'll start getting Scott Steiner math problems, and no one wants to have those issues. But I do know that you'll be 133% wrong if you do. Let me introduce the people that I've got with me. Right next to me, we've got Vaughan Fox of Hourglass Comics. He makes cool horror comics about murdering faces called Murderface, coincidentally enough. And then we also have the other half of CHK Comics, the other Kris, my partner in crime and co-collaborator with all of our comics. We've got Kris Mendoza down on the bottom, super relaxed. It's almost like he knew he was going to be at the bottom, so he's just sitting at the very bottom of the frame in his chair that's older than me by 9 years. So who knows? We're going to talk horror. We're going to talk comics, obviously, probably. I don't know what else we're going to talk about, because honestly, anytime that we get together and talk, it's kind of just going to be throwing Jell-O against a wall and seeing what sticks. We're also, though, we at least have to touch on, we don't have to linger on it because it wasn't that great. Got to talk about Slashback. I don't know if you watched it. I made my wife watch it, and she was like, please stop making me watch these movies with you. She was not a fan, and admittedly, neither was I. So we'll talk about that too. But all of that and so much more are coming in this horror panel of the fourth variety. And I don't have any other preamble or anything to go into. So, gents, how are you? How are you feeling?
Doing excellent. Doing excellent.
Great.
Great. Yeah, doing good. I would like to point out that both Vaughan and I are actually watching this. So we are watching live while it's the fourth one, but also the third one. There is time travel happening right now.
Yeah. And it's cut off, but
oh, nice.
Look at that.
I had to wear the popcorn hat, cat. So my wife was like, what shirt is that? I was like, listen, okay, so there's this comic, right, called Murderface from Vaughan. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, I know Vaughan. And I was like, yeah, so his comic, they have streamers in it. And on the stream, there's a meme cat icon. And that's what this is. She was like, so I was like, so it's a meme from a chat inside of an indie comic that is now on a shirt that I'm wearing. Yes. And she was like, I just didn't recognize it. I said, maybe you should read Murderface, babe. Do you want it? I have it in my show box in my office. Do you want it?
Required reading.
It should be.
Yes. After all the horror movies that she's not enjoying have been forced down
to read horror comics.
Yes. Please read this horror comic.
He hasn't been inundated enough.
The one that she liked so far that we've watched, at least for the panels, is The Gate. Surprisingly, like, of all the movies, that's the one that she was like, I kind of like that movie. Really? That one?
I haven't seen it, but it sounded fun when y'all were talking about it.
I didn't hate it. It's wholesome horror, which we definitely made a thing. And shout out to Michael Schwartz for just setting the record straight on the rest of the wholesome horror movies, like Gremlins, and that's the only one that I remember. Monster Squad. That there were more.
Would Slashback fall into that?
I don't feel. I mean, probably, because
I think so.
Just because it was a bunch of kids running around.
And they get a happy ending.
They get a happy ending. Like, they're not. None of the kids died. Like, that might be a plus. It might be a minus to some people. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what.
It's definitely a minus to me.
I
need more child death in my horror movies.
You heard it here first, folks.
What about child death in comics? How do you feel about that? Asking for a friend.
I'm all good with it.
Okay, cool.
I think everything's fair game. Like, I don't like watching animals, but this movie had a whole bunch of animals dying, so
yeah,
that was some fucked up shit too. Like,
yeah, and
wow.
like I noticed immediately that the polar bear was walking weird.
Should we just tell everybody what the movie's about before we just start talking about random?
That's a good, go for it. Do that.
So basically, it takes place in an Inuit town, and a meteor lands with weird, almost thing-like wormy creatures that get into other creatures and humans, and it's a parasite that controls them.
It looked a lot like the Stranger Things.
Yeah, the Demogorgon.
The Demogorgon.
Yeah, only like a worm version.
Yes.
Shooting out of people's eyeballs and mouth.
Yes, it was like worms with blooming onions on the end. Fantastic.
How to speak Australian.
In an Inuit town. Yeah, that's perfect.
Hey, I'm here to throw weird at you.
Love it. There's more of that Jello. I really wanted to like it, like I really did, because of the heavy focus on like be authentically representing the Inuit with the language and like the very in feeling slang that some of them were using, and a lot of the names were like they didn't whitewash any of them, which was great, and like I appreciate that. And I think the idea was cool, but when I initially put it on my list, it went under like aliens, because aliens, right? And so I had just Googled like, hey, what are like some recent really good alien horror movies? And it came up, and the synopsis thing that it gave me was like a group of teens use their knowledge of horror movies to fight back against an alien invasion. And I was like, that sounds awesome.
I forgot that part, and that never happened.
Right.
But they talked about the thing.
The bandana wearing girl talked about horror movies when they went to the land. But it was like they were just like throwaway. She mentioned like 2 horror movies.
Yes.
And the other girls were like, right?
That was it. This is boring. Your stories suck.
Yeah, it was more like a
the script.
Yeah, it was definitely more like a I know how to hunt because my dad taught me how to hunt. And so instead of being hunted, we're gonna go hunting. And so like I just feel like the synopsis should have been written differently.
That's
because what I was expecting, I didn't know anything else about it. Like I try to watch horror movies knowing as little as possible, and just let the movie dictate if I like it or not. Like I don't want to have to be enticed by a trailer or whatever to then go see a movie to then see the same stuff that I just saw in the trailer. And so I like being surprised watching horror movies also, though, because there's more tendency to be shocked and surprised when you don't know the scares, as opposed to going in like, oh, is this where he jumps out with all the teeth? Ah, there it was. Because then it ruins pop scares or whatever. But holy shit, it was not good. It just drug on. There's too much happening before they eat. Like we were over halfway through, I think, the movie of just like girl drama before we ever even saw the goofy alien parasite controlled polar bear. And then it was still like, oh yeah, but here's more drama and here's
running on broken legs.
Yeah, just
that was
it around.
I thought it was bad CGI at first.
So did I.
It kind of took me out of the movie. I was just like, they couldn't make this bear run right, because it was running like a seal. Like its legs were literally flopping out as it was running.
Yeah,
but then you find out that it's just
you find that out. You didn't know it immediately. I honestly almost was very concerned that it was AI because it looked so wrong.
Yeah,
but it was close.
Which is weird because I really didn't mind the CGI in the movie. I didn't think it was terrible effects.
Yeah,
there was nothing else outside of that really took me out of the movie and was like, okay, guys, come on. Like the two men that had the worms in them and stuff, and their faces looked like they were sagging masks coming off.
Those were
like
fucked up.
Yeah, no, it looked really good.
Yeah,
and so it sucks that the story just wasn't there, because it felt like everything else was. Like, it felt like they had everything to make a good movie with, and then they just kind of lost it on the plot. Like,
see, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna be the outlier here, and that's fine. It's whatever.
How dare you?
I thought it was good. Like, hey, that's you can get up and clean your office, Vaughan. That's fine.
Right.
I say in my brand new cleaned office.
Uh-huh.
Knock this shit over. No one saw that. But no, I thought it was good. I think I will agree. There was a lot more that could have been done with the story. The synopsis sucked compared to what the movie was.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I had it in my head that there was like time travel involved too, and there was no time travel.
No.
And it might have just been the time between you reading the synopsis and actually watching it.
Well, they also, it was weird because it started when what's her face was a girl, and then it was like 6 years later, and then it was the research guy getting worm face sucked into the snow, and then like 4 months later, and it was just like, how many times are we going to do this?
Yeah, the time didn't happen weird.
It's like that's outside the house 2 seconds later. Now we're inside the house.
The door just opened. Yeah. That number of time jumps at the beginning was real weird.
Real offsetting.
Like none of it felt connected.
Yeah.
Like you need something to connect you in the beginning, even if it's like a longer vignette of what's going on, and then you jump into the story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was weird. I did think it was a good story. I think there's a lot that could have been done with it.
Yeah,
a lot.
I think part of it too for me was the acting was so flat. That, like, it was hard for me to believe anything because they were like, "Oh no, there's more aliens over there."
Yeah. And like no one freaked out when the girl came in to tell the entire party.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care if I think you're full of shit or not. Like, I'm at least going to have a bit of a reaction. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck are you talking? What are you on? And
they were all just like,
yeah, everyone's just watching.
Up.
Yeah.
There was a moment. There was a moment where I fell asleep, so I don't really. If I'm being 100% honest, there was a part after they all got together and stuff and were hanging out to where then they were like I guess in the shed with the two men trying to get them. I was like, oh, so that happened.
Damn.
I will say I have to give credit because the like alien possessed controlled dudes looked fucking great.
They did.
Like the twist over that first dock worker guy, as he was chasing after her, she was running like 2 seconds per hour or whatever, just like, oh no.
Yeah.
And he's like just stumbling after. I'm like, he would have caught her. Come on. But as he was going after her, or even when he was going up the stairs, like that was creepy.
Yes, when he twisted and then did the what is that movie? The Exorcist.
The
upside down spider walk.
Yeah.
And then still ended up facing forward at the end. Oh my god.
Yeah, like it had moments where it was like, okay, these are really good, like just terrifying images, but that only almost makes me madder at the movie of like, why was the rest of it shit? Yeah. Like if you clearly can do like just the like paper bag crumpling melty face thing, and like how the eye holes were lower on their head.
Yeah, they were like on their cheekbones.
Terrifying.
Fucked up. God.
Like, how did they not nail the rest of it? And then for everything to be the like wholesome ending and shit, I was like, damn it, this is another wholesome horror movie.
My official synopsis, my daughter watched the end with me and she's like, it wasn't bad. I'm like, you call like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's all you need to watch. It would have been like a really good, like college made short film if it was just the last 20 minutes. I don't need the first hour and 10.
And honestly, I'll say this too. With all that time before shit starts happening, they did not develop the characters.
Nope.
Like the girl that no one believes. They didn't develop why no one believes her.
Yeah.
They didn't develop any of that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they turned them into some fucking badass native girls.
Mm-hmm. And then tried to like develop further the, you've always been a piece of shit because your dad's not gone and you're raised by your drunk grandma all the time. I was like, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. But you don't know that until then.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a case of show not tell, where they just like tell you all this stuff. You don't see any of the development happening. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in the beginning of the movie, like I feel like it really wanted to connect to its roots. Like, you know, we're going to take place in an Inuit town, and it started off like y'all said with the woman and stuff. And I feel like if it wanted to connect to its roots, it should have went way back farther than 6 years. And then it should have had some kind of like bearing on the rest of the movie. Yeah. Because, you know, they could have went back 6 years, they could have went back 100 years, and it didn't really matter because none of that really tied into the movie aside from, there's aliens. And, you know, we see the meteor fall or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like that's what they were going for. Like, they were like, you know, I don't know who wrote it and who directed it and stuff, but I mean, it was definitely influenced by the Inuit culture and stuff. And, the parts that they did in the town, a lot of times it felt like, you know, like watching Reservation Dogs or something, you know, especially when they're like Skoden. And I was watching it with subtitles on and they're like speaking Inuit. Yeah. It wasn't even, I mean, it was like English slang for them. But, But I don't feel like the tissue was never connected throughout the rest of the movie. Like they started off like, we're going to really make this connected to our roots and stuff. And it's going to have a lot to say about our culture. And then it just didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a great example would be the knife that she kills the last one with that was after her dad. That's her great grandfather's knife. He was the best hunter in the village. Like, you're right. They could have gone back to him being a young man at the beginning and watched that knife get passed down and had a connective tissue from the front to the end.
They should have had him just go ham on a bunch of alien worm dudes. Like, like he's the greatest hunter.
Yeah.
With all the talk of
or something.
Yeah, like with all the talk of her dad being like, you know, selling all the cuts of meat and stuff outside the grocery store and like being the town's greatest hunter now, to then have the ending where he was handing out the flyers, I was like, oh, cool. He's got like a food truck or something, like a food stand, and he's selling his cuts of meat as food instead of, and then it goes and like, oh no, she's just making like drinks. Like, what the fuck? Like, where did that come from? That has nothing to do with anything. And now suddenly, like, it's good that he's supporting her. Like, I'll hand out flyers. But like, all the time was spent talking about being hunters and that whole family having this history of being the best hunters in the village. And then she's making coffee? Like, get the fuck out of here.
That was weird.
Come from a family of great baristas. The perfect amount of cream.
Yes, every time.
2 pumps, no more, no less.
That's right. That cinnamon leaf's going to be crisp.
2 pumps with a twist. I ultimately just felt like it was a monorail of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have movies that are like roller coaster rides. It's like a monorail ride. It was just, here's point A, here's point B, have fun.
And we spent the first hour in the train station, and then it started moving and it was over, and we're like, oh shit, okay. All right. It was just getting fun.
Yeah.
Well, that was there's Slashback. Go suffer for an hour and a half if you want to.
I mean,
it's on AMC Plus, so that's where I watched it.
Shout out Tulsa Library. I got to watch it for free.
Nice. Yeah.
I believe I too watched it on AMC Plus.
Yeah. I have access to that because I set up my mom's cable account with my email. So I just log into her Spectrum account to get free shit all the time. Like I get free SPN Unlimited now. AMC Plus I get free. Paramount Plus I get free. And it's all because she already has Spectrum. I'm like, so it's just more cable. Like you're just proving your point now. Like this is all just cable.
Yep.
So, well, now that we get that out of the way,
of everything now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all ad supported and you can upgrade to get away from the ads, but who wants to do that? If I'm getting it for free, like everything I watch has ads anyway. Like there's nothing that I watch unless I go to a DVD that I still have a wall of.
I use the ad breaks to look at my phone.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is a tricky part of my game. I got to focus on this.
Yeah.
And then go back to absentmindedly playing when the movie's on. Yeah.
Yes.
So I watched Crackoon directly after Slashback.
Okay.
What?
Hang on.
No, don't write that down.
Is that another Tubi find?
It was on Prime. Yeah, oddly enough, but it should have been on Tubi. It was bad. It was awful. It was like, here's 30 minutes of us telling you that there's this drug that makes people crazy. Here's 30 minutes of a raccoon running around on this drug. And then the last 30 minutes was like, remember all the women in the movie? They're now going to take showers and then get killed.
Sweet.
So, yeah, well, there's a lot of TNA.
Yeah.
And, but it was just strange.
16-year-old me would have loved that.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. It's the only reason I was watching movies like Piranha 3D and Piranha 4D.
That's the breast one.
Get out.
Get out. Christopher Lloyd in it?
Get out. I feel like 3D did have Christopher Lloyd in it, actually.
I got it at the dollar store.
Of course you do. Yeah. That tracks. What else? What good movies, horror movies, have you been watching since we suffered through Slashback?
I watched Final Girls last night. I think it was Final Girls, plural.
Okay.
So I think there's also a Final Girl, and it was it wasn't bad. It was strange. It was about this girl who her mom was an actress, a scream queen, and she ends up. I don't know what part of this is spoilers or not. It happens in the first 10 minutes. Her mom ends up dying in a car accident, and then cut to like X amount of years later, they're doing like a double feature of these horror movies that she was in, and weird stuff happens, and they end up in the actual movie. Her and all her friends end up in this movie in the 70s.
That's
cool. It's got it had a decent cast. Thomas Middleditch was in it, and her mom is famous, but I can't remember her name. But it wasn't a bad movie. It was fun. I mean, it played on a bunch of the tropes and stuff, like, them trying to keep everybody from having sex so they don't die.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It was, I don't know. It was a cute movie. It wasn't bad.
Cute movie is exactly the kind of descriptor I want for a horror movie.
Yeah, so. It was cute.
Oh, that's cute. Kris, what about you?
Let's see here. Popeye the Slayer Man was fun. That was super fun. I
still need to get to that.
Yeah, the burn is good on it. It's paced right for all the kills. Okay. The Popeye costume or CGI, whichever it is fucking unnerving.
Awesome.
Unnerving, bad unnerving.
Yeah, I was just about to say, in a good way or
pick a poison. It's disturbing to look at.
Great.
I felt the same about the third stream, the main character from the third stream that you're doing too, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Very, very weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't tell if it was like a mask.
Yeah.
Or I mean, so like good on him for figuring out how to make that work.
Yeah. The honey eating was so
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're such a sticky boy.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
a
like
weird way to say
running
that.
down his face. That's why I'm saying it that way. Nope, they don't talk anymore, Vaughn. They made a solemn oath.
That's right. Yeah, if you want to hear the deep dive on that, tune in tomorrow, Monday, October 27th at 7 p.m. And I'll be talking about that with two esteemed post-punk returners as well. Because I think part of me just needs to talk about that movie. Not because I loved it. I just need to talk about it. So I'm looking forward to finally being able to talk about it.
Well, they're starting a whole universe, aren't they? Wasn't Peter Pan part of that?
See, I think so. I think that they were going to tie all of that stuff together. I just don't know that. Like, I know there was a second Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, and Bambi. I think Bambi's part of that too.
Oh,
that would track. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't. I haven't honestly gone digging.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any of them.
The cover for the second Winnie the Pooh is weird and might answer some of the questions that I'm going to be asking tomorrow. About like where were certain characters that they didn't out overtly just eat. So
I did try to watch this movie called The Cyclops from like 1957.
Sweet. Yeah.
It was terrible.
Sounds awesome.
It took place in Mexico.
Perfect.
A bunch of white people trying to tell Mexicans how to talk to them in English.
I love that. Yeah,
I do too.
Scary for all the wrong reasons.
Scary for all the wrong reasons. And then I fell asleep like an hour in, and we still hadn't gotten to the damn monsters. So I woke up and switched to something else.
So if you didn't see the Cyclops, you won't be able to answer if the Cyclops was like the claymation.
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah, like Clash of the Titans style. The original.
I don't know. I need to go back and try to watch it again because I've got to know. Because if that's what it is, it could be.
We also have the internet. You can just look it up.
Yeah, I was going to say. It was called Cyclops.
The Cyclops.
The Cyclops. Okay.
Yeah. If you look for Cyclops, you're probably going to find trading
X-Men character pops right up.
Yeah.
Movie, 1957. The Cyclops. Oh man, that's a great cover.
Yeah, the poster's rad.
Yeah, I've got the technology. Let's if I can do all this on the fly. Present. Share screen. Share this window. There it is.
I got it.
Look at that poster.
I helped.
You did.
You sure did. No, that was all you. Yeah, that's a sick poster. Like,
yes.
And it's got the big
eyeball.
Oh,
yeah, there's like monstrous animals and a Cyclops and all this, and I'm like,
nature gone mad.
Those two guys behind her are like, ugh.
Total douches.
Yeah.
That's a good eye, Vaughan.
I have two Cyclopses right here.
Look at that.
Cyclopses? I don't know. What's the plural?
Cyclopes. Let's go to images and see if we can't figure out what. Oh yeah, dude. Look at this guy.
That dude.
Okay,
so it's makeup. Man. Okay.
He also has two noses. That's more. I would lean on that.
He's got this nose like pushed over, and then it looks like there's another cleft palate type of thing. Maybe it is clay, but that ear is too real to be entirely claymation.
Yeah, I think it's makeup.
It looks like it might be makeup or like a half mask thing.
Yeah,
like Phantom of the Opera. Turner Classic Movies.
There you go.
I love it. All right, cool. Well, there we go. Let's see. I almost removed the wrong person. Boom. Yeah. So, oh no!
Vaughn's been killed.
You and your friends are dead. Game over. Yeah, so I like going back and watching old horror stuff like that. I think it was last year I watched a movie on Max called The War of the Gargantua, and it was like it was in the vein of Godzilla, where it was just people in costumes that were shot and then like superimposed over. But there was one one gargantuan that was trying to destroy stuff, and he was like, I don't know if this is a racist remark or not, probably not because it was too early, but he was like, his fur was all black, and then there was a gargantuan that came to fight him, hence the War of the Gargantua, and his fur was all like a brownish green because he was defending the earth and like trying to stop the black furry gargantuan guy.
The pollution.
And while it wasn't scary, it was, I mean, it was still like the storytelling was there, and like the meaning behind things was there. And it's like, yeah, Godzilla wasn't created to destroy Tokyo. He was created to, as like Earth's protector, to come out and stop humans from being terrible pieces of shit.
Yes.
And so like knowing that with Godzilla, I just have an appreciation for like kaiju movie that do that sort of stuff. And it was, I mean, it was a fun little tromp. Yeah. It was like an hour and 10 minutes, super short.
Yeah, but that's not bad.
I like watching movies from, you know, the 30s to like the 60s before it got into like the 70s, just like drug trippy, weird shit happening and everybody's dying and bleeding and getting stabbed and all this stuff. Like I am a fan of psychological horror and horror that sometimes I guess I have to be in the mood. See, this is one of those times, like I've talked about previous panels, where it's like it depends on the mood that I'm in. And recently I've been in the mood to just watch horror movies that fuck with my brain. And I don't want to necessarily see all the most violent stuff. I just want to see movies that make you go, things that make you go, like that. You know what I mean? Like yes, that's exactly what I want in my horror as of this moment, the date of this streaming, October 26th at 7:32. So it's going to change, which is why I got to timestamp it. But I just like, that's what sticks out to me. I like supernatural movies, supernatural horror for that reason, because the hauntings and stuff are almost always more pronounced as the person's thinking about it. And if the movie does a good job of showing what the person is thinking through, whether or not it's real is up to the viewer. And I think there's fun to be had in that, because then you leave it up to the viewer's imagination to be like, was there actually ghosts, or is that person just crazy? And that's also a question I've been asking myself at work, because I'm not sure if my warehouse is haunted or not, but I keep seeing stuff. And like, I was telling Larry about it, and he was like, I swear, man, if you're just telling me this because you're going to scare me at some point, I'm going to hate you so hard. I was like, well, now that you mention it, that's like a right? But yeah, that's.
Do y'all have automatic lights?
No, everything's.
The warehouse at my work has automatic lights.
Okay.
So you'll be out in the warehouse doing something on like a Sunday night when no one's there, and all of a sudden a light turns on like at the end of the warehouse.
Yeah.
All motion activated. So you're like, oh crap. And
cool.
Apparently we had a raccoon back there one time that was just setting off all the lights.
I was gonna say, do you have any rodents or any mice or anything?
But I thought it would make a cool horror game where you're like trying to get to this warehouse and all of a sudden a light turns on at, you know, somewhere else, and you're like, oh, that's where they're at.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking like, I immediately was telling Larry about, you know, like, oh, what if the warehouse sat empty for a couple of years because there was some terrible tragic event that, like, you know, 7 workers died in this warehouse. And, you know, as a result, they ended up, because our space used to be connected with the suite next door, but then they built a wall in between them, dividing them, which has caused all sorts of chaos because we have to go over there for certain like breakers to flip. Like our heater runs on a breaker in our neighbor's suite, so we had to go over there to figure out which ones. And it's like Larry would go over there and flip a switch and then run back to the dock and be like, anything? Like, no, not yet. And okay, and he'd run back over there and flip another switch.
That's what I'm thinking. He didn't call anybody.
Listen,
what the hell, Larry?
He's a retired truck driver and he's not a tech person.
Larry's like, if you're planning on killing me in this warehouse, I'm gonna be sorely pissed.
Let me get the heater working first.
I'm like, yes, please do that. That'd be great. But I was telling him, like, you know, what if this or what if that? And like, just my imagination was running and I don't know where a line is. So I just kept coming up with more twisted and dark ideas. And he was like, you're going to make a damn comic about this, aren't you? I was like, you know, tempt me with a good time, Larry. I might. He was like, if I die in your comic, I said, you'll be the first. Yeah, don't worry. You'll be the first. He was like, not what I was going to say.
Give me Murderface. He dies in your comic.
Murderface attack on truckers.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was, speaking of Murderface though, let's do a hard transition into horror comics. Have you been reading horror comics a month too? Or is that just me who's obsessed about theming?
I have a bunch on my to-read list, but I haven't read anything. I read Bigfoot Knows Karate the other day by Dan Price.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I just downloaded my copy of that today, actually. So I think
I read mine on Comic Style 1. I read issue 1, and then I'm like, I got into issue 2, and I need to finish it. But yes, I also got issue 3 coming too. So
yeah, it's a great series.
I was impressed. I like it a lot.
It's funny, like I told Dan this, but I didn't know anything about it until the Hinnigan side story. And that's when I discovered that whole series. And so then I went back and like did the catch up tier because I'm a completionist. And so I backed Hinnigan, but then I also got issues 1 and 2. And that's how I discovered it, because the cover, somebody had posted it or reposted it or something on one of the social medias. And I was like, that's a badass cover. What the hell is that? And I think it was Bigfoot, like with the like lantern shade hat thing on, which might be incredibly offensive. And if it is, I apologize. Sure. I don't know what it's called clearly. Because
Raiden from...
Yes. Yeah. Raiden's hat. He was wearing Raiden's hat. And I was like, that's a cool, like, that's a rad image. And then I started reading it and I was like, oh, this is a badass book. Okay. And then here we are. And Dan is going to be, he's one of our Woo tier guys. And so he will be in the first chapter, shameless plug, of Barricade Brigade, which, Kay, I don't know how this happened. Did we talk about not getting together this weekend to write?
Or we did not.
Okay. No, that's probably on me because I was so focused on the expo yesterday that and then after I got home, I was just so disappointed with it.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
There was no artist alley. And there were, like, I get it, they're in a different location than normal because the main convention center is getting renovated. Mm-hmm. So they've been in this other one, which is smaller and more disjointed. But, like, there was no spot where there were, oh, here's the indie creators. It was like, oh, yeah, here's a creator. And then somebody selling anime statues and someone selling
tumblers,
like whatever. Oh, another Funko Pop vendor, cool. And then like, oh, here's an artist, cool. I don't have any more wall space for prints, so I'm not looking for just an artist to buy more prints from. But like, where the fuck are all the indie creators? And the one that I found, I was like, well, I'm giving you all of my money that I set aside for indie creators because you're the only one I've seen that I don't already own your books. So, because there was a guy there that was at the Middletown Expo last year, and Rachel was like, hey, that looks like a horror comic. I was like, yeah, it is. I have it. I bought the whole series last year. And she was like, Of course you did. Okay. I don't know why I bother trying.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
Also,
the guy was super
it's been
cool.
a year and you're still waiting on a new issue.
It was just a 4-issue mini that artist came in on the second or on the third and fourth issues, because the other artist was having family issues. Issues. I
have all the
Can't wait
issues.
to read that.
That's a whole different kind of horror.
Mm-hmm. Sure is. But yeah, it was just disappointing from that perspective. I mean, I like the guy that I talked to. He's with Rocket Inc. Studios. And so I bought his book. He gave me a book for free. And then I made sure to give him a show sticker like, hey, find me on YouTube. So John, if you happen to see this stream, this is not my standard format. But I was like, I'm booked through the end of the year, but like, I would love to have you back on, or have you on 2026, like maybe you and your partner, and have both of you come on and talk comics, because he does art and then his partner does a lot of writing, and they're the ones that started rocketing together. And their logo is cool as shit. It's like a space rocket, but there's tentacles. And he was like, yeah, like we're really focusing more on what we want to make, and that's horror and like dark sci-fi. And I was like, you are speaking right to me. So I am your fan. I'm your demographic, and I will find you. So shout out to Rocket Studio Inc. Or Rocket Inc. Studios. I keep butchering that. What the hell is it? I just put all my books away. I was cleaning up my office today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's we can tell, Vaughan. We can tell. Rocket Inc. But yeah, so that was the Rocket Inc. Studios.
Filing all my paper.
The Rocket Inc. Studio. Okay,
we're gonna do. Oh man, create a banner. Add banner. Show it. There they are. Rocket Inc. Studios. Shout out to them, because they were one of the few indie creators that I found and that had cool comics for sale. And so I bought an anthology, who, instead of having like the like the old hag or the crypt keeper or whatever, the guy from Clerks, the guy with like the side hair that somehow in Clerks 2 hooks up with Rosario Dawson. That guy? He, in real life, that actor is friends with the Rocket Inc. Studios guys.
Nice.
So he is the one that's curating their anthology.
Brian O'Halloran.
That's the name. Yep. That's the name he said. I think it's right here. Hang on. Huzzah! Here's the book. Oh shit! Yeah, so that's
cool looking.
Nice.
That's the likeness.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, yeah. Like they connect everything with him, and then he's the narrator between the stories. But like the ghosts in the smoke, and then there's the logo.
I do like that.
That is cool.
Like super rad. But yeah, so I bought this, and then he gave me another anthology, because let's just play show and tell, called Psychopath, which I wanted to buy anyway, because the cover, like, come on.
That is a cool cover.
Super bright colors, and it's got this really dark, mysterious looking, like, half face coming out of the blood on the back. And I was like, sick. He was like, you can have it. We used to work with other creators, and then we realized it's a lot like herding cats. And we don't want to have to do that. We just want to make comics. So that's what we're doing. And we tried to sell everything back to the creators at cost, so that they had the books to sell at events and stuff. And they told us to keep them and get rid of them. So here you go. And I was like, thanks. Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Nice. I'll take a free comic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Rocket. That was basically, and then I spent a lot of money on horror comics from the 60s and 70s. So
nice.
From that aspect, it was a win. And I got a bunch of trades for super cheap, but I wanted to see indie creators, like that's who I want to talk to. So,
well, the last con I went to was It was very separated. I was next to a guy named Brian Swan from Barebones Comics, and so we got along great. But then I had Javier Verduzco from Mexico City doing art next to me, which really cool guy. He was a guest artist there, and he was sitting next to me instead of like where the guest panel was. It was strange. Awesome. And then across the aisle, you had another indie comic. Then you had two artists. Then I don't know if you know Lori Calcaterra. She does Path of the Pale Rider. She's on Rolling Squid Bones.
Yeah.
And she was across the conference at the other side of the wall, and I asked her, I'm like, are there like 4 of us here with our own comics? She's like, no, there's several people. I'm like, I don't know where anybody is.
Yeah.
Like, and across from me there was a guy selling novels who I think he blew us all out of the water on sales.
That's crazy.
So
selling just a regular book. But it was weird. And then you had all your Funko Pops and AI tumblers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was just all dotted over. It was about $40 off from Making Table there. It was not great, but I had a lot of fun. And like I said, I met a lot of people, and that's, to me, that's the fun part. Like, yeah, it'd be great to make money, but you know, the few people I did sell to, I got, you know, people following me on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
And, hoping that, you know, when I have more come out, they'll be there for that. But yeah, it was just it was just a kind of a weird setup. It didn't feel very
like intentional. Yeah.
Yeah. It just felt like everything was just kind of wherever. You know, I've only ever done 2 cons before that. The last con, Raphael and I did together, and that was a lot of fun. So it was Raphael, me, and then Lori, and we were all set up right next to Jim Lee.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. It kind of sucked because we were like, we chose those tables. We're like, we're gonna be here, like everybody's coming off of Jim Lee, and we'll catch his runoff. But yeah, we caught them as they were running off. Like it was like when they were done with Jim Lee, that was it. Yeah. And then I had another friend named Roberto on the other side who does Carlos the Kaiju Killer. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
It's really good. I just picked it up from Barnes and Nobles. But he was like, it was great on my side because people were standing in line waiting. And so I had nowhere else to go but to sit there and talk with me, and, you know, I could pitch them and stuff. And I was like, that's what we did wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. Got to work that line, man.
Front end, not the back end.
Because they had just spent $600 getting everything signed by Jim Lee, and they didn't have any money left for us.
Yep.
Yeah, I must have lucked out because when I met Jim Lee, I think it was at last year's Cincinnati Expo. I just did the autograph thing, and I was surrounded by a bunch of people that were like vendors that clearly were just looking to get autograph stuff to then resell. But I think I might have paid I think I paid like $75 for his autograph, and which I was like, okay, like his art defined my childhood. So like, okay, you know, I'll pay a lot of money for a very select few people to sign books. And he was one of them, but it was funny because even the people working, like as they were in line, everybody's, you know, going through their like milk crates on wheels and pulling out all the books. And some guys had cut specific holes where they wanted him to sign in on the cover. And I was just like, what in the hell is happening? And I'm just standing there with a single book. With X-Men #4, like, here I am. And everybody that I talked to on his team as I was going through the line were like, you just have the one? Like, yeah, I just have the one. I'm just a big fan. Like, cool. No, that's great. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Where's his autograph at? It's on the Wildcats logo. I got this signed for free.
Nice.
Wow.
In like 95, 94.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
And Troll #1 signed by Rob Liefeld.
Wow.
Why? I don't know.
That's the perfect comic to have him sign. That's incredible.
Should have picked something with more feet, though.
No, he's a troll. That's perfect.
It really is.
Wish I would have gotten to sign that.
Oh,
I didn't have it.
Yeah, that'd be worth some money now.
Yeah, it would.
I heard he was at Cincinnati the year Stan Lee was, and I heard from a buddy of mine who is a vendor that he was just asking people as they, came up and were looking at his stuff, like, "Hey, how's the con going for you?" He said he had 3 different people tell him, like, Rob Liefeld's a dick, and like didn't want to sign certain books because they weren't his well-known proud work or whatever.
He just made an announcement saying, was it him? I don't want to say it if it's not. No, never mind. I don't think it's something else. Who's the guy in Back to the Future? The dad?
The dad?
Crispin Glover. Glover just said he's not signing Back to the Future stuff anymore.
Really?
If you want to bring him stuff from movies that he produced or had a hand in, then he'll sign that, but he's not signing like stuff that he didn't have a hand in making.
Wow.
I mean,
I almost blamed Rob Liefeld for that.
You could have, though.
You could have.
He is only selling Deadpool or only signing Deadpool stuff forever.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm hanging on to my troll number 1.
Yeah. See, if you had said that, I would have been like, oh, yeah, no, that kind of tracks.
Yeah, it does.
But I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah.
He had a Facebook page called the Spinner Rack for a long time that anybody could just join his Facebook page and he talked to people and stuff. And my friend Kenny, who was a huge Liefeld fan growing up, like got kicked out of it, doesn't know how. He's like, yeah, he just booted me. As far as I know, Rob Liefeld was the only moderator on it. He's like, I don't know. I commented on something and now I can't access the page.
That's like I had my weird or my lame claim to fame is that pro wrestler Kevin Owens blocked me on Twitter in like 2012. And I didn't say anything about him. I didn't. It was
so
just
weird.
Like someone had mentioned, like, oh yeah, he posted this thing on Twitter. It's really funny. You should check it out. And so I went to go to his profile and it said, this user has blocked you. And I was like, what the fuck? I've always wanted to make a sign that says like at Kevin Owens, like, why did you block me on Twitter? And then I was like, oh wait, I don't even use Twitter anymore. What do I care? But yeah for a long time, that was always my go-to of like, yeah, this is my ridiculous fun fact of just
so
like,
funny.
what the hell?
Like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I talked to Joe Kelly on Twitter one time. I thought that was really fun.
I don't know who that is.
He took over Deadpool like when it became really big, like when he had his own comic and stuff. Joe Kelly was the one. A lot of Joe Kelly's influences are in the movie, like Blind Owl and stuff like that all came from his writings of Deadpool. And it's one of my favorite books ever. His writing on Deadpool. It kind of petered off at the end because they were going to end it, and then they're like, "Nah, never mind. It's making too much money. We don't want to end it." Yeah, and so it kind of messed with his ending he had planned. But man, I love it. And I asked him because when he wrote it, Deadpool didn't really break the fourth wall too much. And I remembered one instance where he's fighting Bullseye in Greece, and he's all like, "What's it been like issue 11? You know, like since they fought or whatever." And I looked and I'm like, oh, it was like issue 11. I can't. But I just kind of took it as like a throwaway joke of like, they know what kind of people they are, you know, they're superheroes in this world. But then it was when Christopher Priest started writing it, Deadpool died and then he came back and he's all like, there's someone behind a typewriter. He's making all this up. Like, I've seen him. I've seen the guy behind the typewriter. And that's where he started breaking the fourth wall. When he peeked behind the veil when Christopher Priest took over the book. And I didn't like that. I never liked it. I poo on the fourth wall breaking stuff. It's too much for me. But anyway, I asked him how he felt about that. Yeah. I was like, as far as I know, you only broke it one time. And it doesn't make sense to me the way people do it. Like, I think I had just read like Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, where he climbs outside of the book and then goes into the writer's room and kills all the writers. Yeah. And I was just like, this is dumb. Like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, so the writers wrote him killing them? Like, yeah. But anyway, he was just tweeting me back saying to him, it was like a spice that you use in cooking. Like, you know, a little bit goes a long way. Yep. And
man, that's real.
And it's funny because that's literally it. That was the end of the conversation, and I was just like, "Oh, Joe Kelly talked to me."
All right, Kay. What's your what's your obscure random thing that you've had happen to you?
Oh, obscure random thing.
Doesn't have to be Twitter, but it just so happens that Vaughn and I's both happened on Twitter.
That is funny. Yeah, because let's see. Does being in a movie that you've never seen count?
Sure.
Okay.
I've got one of those.
I got.
Do you own the movie?
I don't.
That's a bummer.
It
See,
is.
I was given a DVD copy of mine, and I
nice.
Not
like a Hollywood movie, or like some people local were like making a movie.
No,
Hollywood movie.
Hollywood movie. What's the Hollywood movie?
Any Given Sunday.
You were in that?
Yeah, I'm in the crowd. I'm a woo guy.
You're a woo guy.
The original woo guy.
The OG woo guy. Yeah,
love it.
I got a free cheeseburger out of the deal.
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah.
My wife is in the Ides of March with Clooney and what's his face? Because I forget who the other guy is. But yeah, she's in Ides of March with George Clooney because they filmed part of it at Miami University, and so she got paid like $80 to sit in the auditorium for 2 days. Nice. And just sit there. She was like, it was really boring, but
I was going to do that anyway.
yeah, I got paid to do nothing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Randomly met Wayne Coyne at a show that I didn't expect him to show up to. That's the best I got.
Who's that?
He's the singer for the Flaming Lips.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What was he? How did that happen?
I honestly didn't think about it until I had him walk up behind me and start talking to me. The band that I was there to see was his nephew's band.
Oh.
And Nancy, my wife, was like, "Oh my God, Wayne Coyne is behind you." And I'm like, I'm like, no. And I'm like, holy shit. And then he starts ragging on his nephew because he wore this green jumpsuit and it was starting to rip. And he'd been wearing, I mean, I've seen this band 2 or 3 times before that. Always wore that jumpsuit. Starts ragging him and he's like, that thing's falling apart. And I'm like, yeah, it is. But it's kind of like not seeing you with blood on your cream colored suit. So,
yeah. That's awesome.
Did he appreciate it, or was he just like, eh?
Oh yeah, I got a picture. I got a picture like bear hugging him too that night. Nice. That was pretty fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I made fun of Anti-Flag with Bowling for Soup.
I know.
Warped Tour.
Nice.
You know, fuck those
I wrote
guys
their comics.
Yeah, you did.
That's right.
I have that comic, and it's really fun.
That's great.
It was fun to write. It was like pretty much like let's just take Scooby-Doo and replace it with Bowling for Soup.
That's so awesome.
It's so easy to do too. Like it's a layup. Like
it literally fits them as a persona too.
Yeah.
Like
I had written I think 2 more stories and they were just like, now we're done.
That's too bad. Dude, the picture you sent me of Jarrett leaving the gas station with like bags of beer, I was like, that's the perfect damn thing.
Well, I think I told you my friend Kenny designed T-shirts for them, and then he was in the UK and they were doing tour, and so he kind of met up with them there and went on tour with them, and that's when they kind of pitched the idea of a comic book, or maybe he pitched them. I'm not sure how it went. And then so he's like, hey, Bowling for Soup wants me to do a comic. Do you want to write it? And so the first issue we wrote together, and then the second issue I just sat down and pounded it out. And so I hadn't seen them in forever. Like he and I, maybe 2 years ago, went to Kris's house to hang out with him for a little bit.
Okay.
But I hadn't seen any of the other guys from forever. I didn't even know that Gary and Eric were not in the band anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm at Quick Trip and I hear this voice behind me and I'm like, Chuck E. Cheese? I turn around and Jared's standing there. And I'm like, huh. And so like I sat outside like a dick, waited for him to come out, took a picture and sent it to my friend Kenny. I'm like, hey, this is Jared, right? He's like, yeah. He saw me at Quick Trip. But the bus was out there and stuff. I guess they were getting ready to go on tour.
Yeah, I know they're, I think, ramping up again because I keep getting emails. like new merch coming and heading back out. And I think they just dropped a new song too.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, when I saw them, when I see them 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I don't know, they were playing with Less Than Jake, and I'm glad I saw him because it was Chris's last tour with him, because now he's hung up the guitar.
Yeah.
But like I bought one of their shirts, and I wish that I had also bought a Less Than Jake shirt, because the more that I think about it, the more that I'm like, you know what? Less Than Jake might be in my top 5 bands of all time. Like,
they're a really good band.
They're so good. And the best show I ever went to, they were the headliners for. I just didn't go for them. Like they were a good bonus, but Streetlight Manifesto and then Real Big Fish and then Less Than Jake. And I was just like, I loved Real Big Fish and Streetlight. And so I was like, yeah, no, I know some Less Than Jake stuff. And like, I even had a Less Than Jake shirt that someone had given me. And so I wore that, and it was skin tight. And I was like, I don't give a shit. And somewhere there's a picture of me peeling it off after the show. Cause I just sweat through. I was just, everything was wet when I left that show, cause it was so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to see them one time. And I didn't even realize I was going to see them.
Awesome.
I bought a ticket to go to see the Descendants. And I walked in, and I hear Less Than Jake, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Hell yeah.
It was fantastic.
Those are the best surprises too. Like,
yes, they are.
That's why I don't understand the people that only show up for the headlining act and then leave. Yes. Because if you go and stay the whole time, you see all sorts of bands that you might not ever have seen, that suddenly you're like, oh, this band's great. Like, I'm going to obsess over them for at least the next 2 months.
Yes.
But one of those that I completely off brand, actually, that's how I found Circa Survive. Was they didn't open, they were the headliner, but my best friend through high school and college, like, she and I went to all sorts of concerts all the time, and it worked out great for me because she would buy the tickets and then I just had to drive us. And I was like, okay, I'm winning, because gas was like $1.13 a gallon. And, you know, tickets at the time were cheaper by a lot, but still she was spending more money. But we went because she wanted to see Cute Is What We Aim For. And they were the second band, and then Circa Survive was the third band. And as they were setting up and everything, a lot of people left after Cute Is What We Aim For played. And like, there were no lights. It was the coolest damn experience because there were no stage lights. They just had a projector, and their backdrop was a white sheet. And they were projecting like black and white war footage and propaganda stuff as they did their entire set. And I think to scare people away that were only there for Circa Survive, they opened with, still, I don't know what song it is, but it's their heaviest song that I like, that they played all night. I've gone back and listened to all their albums, and I was like, this is what they opened with. And it starts with him just screaming for a solid like minute and a half as the band is just like just heavy as shit. And as he was screaming, a lot of people around us were like, yeah, we're leaving. And so all of these girls left because they were just there to see Cute Is What We Aim For. And my friend Ashley even looked at me and she was like, can we go? And I was like, no, this is awesome. Like, this is the funniest thing you could possibly do. Just give it 2 songs. And if you still don't like it after 2 songs, you can leave. And the second song he was singing, everything was great. And I looked at her, she was like, all right, that song was pretty good. It's like, cool, we're staying. All right. But like half the venue left.
That's fantastic.
And I had no idea who they were until that night. And then I was like, all right, well, you're my new favorite band.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. What else? Do we have anything else? What didn't we cover? Did you need to cover anything, either of you?
I mean, I haven't officially announced anything, but I have an entire slate coming out next year, 4 different comics, and possibly signing someone else that I'm just tell you that, but not going into any detail about. We've been talking for a while.
Sure. How do people find you to then get notified when you do make the announcements?
Substack would probably be the best place, but I'm on Instagram, Substack, Facebook. All of it's Hourglass Comics with an X.
Sweet. I will make sure to link your Substack.
I have Blue Sky. I forget to check it. I have Threads, and I just posted that from Instagram. But it's all Hourglass Comics with an X.
Sweet. Kris, what about you?
I got to finish inking the story about my dad. I got to get that done this week, so I can get all the gray tones added in, since it's a black and white only story.
Yep.
Working on Barricade Brigade. Fun stuff. Fun things are happening.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a decent little story.
So it's pretty cool. I got to give a copy of it to the owner from my no longer local comic shop.
Nice.
They're like one of the main sponsors of the Comic Expo. And
That's
so I
cool.
always stop and buy something from him. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in like 2 months. And I was like, hey, I want to give you my comic because I brought some. And he was like, excellent. I'll read it tonight. I was like, thanks, Jeff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. Oh, anyone that I have a mailing address for, you're going to be getting a brand new hand-drawn, copy of a hand-drawn Christmas card. I'm not drawing multiple different Christmas cards. No.
Getting a copy of a drawing? Get out of here.
I went from feeling really special to not. I don't even know if I'm getting one.
I don't even have your. I need your mailing address, Vaughan.
Don't worry. I was gonna say I have it, so
I guess I was thinking you had it because I got my my art that you did.
All that went to Kris and then came to you. So it took the long road to Texas.
Yeah, it was like a connecting flight for anything that you try and do now. Like you had to go from Oklahoma all the way out to Ohio and then turn around and go all the way back to Texas. And it's
either that or the little mini plane that
I love those. The pond hoppers.
Yes. I walked into
plans.
one after my dad's funeral. I had to take one of those from Dallas to here. For some reason I ended up Honduras to Houston to Dallas to Tulsa. Make sense.
Jeez.
And I get all the way up the steps and they're like, your carry-on's too big. It's got to be put underneath. I'm like, no one told me at the bottom of the stairs. Okay. And everyone had to move for me to go down. I was not happy.
That's when you're like, okay, well, I'm going to come in and stand where the flight attendants stand and let everybody board the plane. And then I'm going to go back out.
Yeah.
I had to do that. Boarding a plane from, where was I? I think I was in Minnesota. And you had to go, the plane was smaller, so it didn't connect to the walkway up to the terminal like normal big planes. It was like sitting out further. And so it's Minnesota. And so like in April, so it was still cold. And I was like, I'm not dressed for this because it's warm in Ohio. And so we're walking in like t-shirt and shorts in like 40-degree weather in Minnesota. And we walked out and the lady was like, oh yeah, your carry-on, it's not going to fit in the bins. Like you're going to have to check that. And you can just give it to the person at the bottom of the stairs. And I was like, okay, well, it's cold. I have shorts on and you've got space in here and there's people behind me. So I'm just going to tuck in here awkwardly and like hug my bag as people walk by. And then I'll go back out. And they're like, oh no, that makes total sense. I was like, okay, great. So I literally stood there with my bag, just like, hello. Hey,
hi.
Welcome to the flight. Hello. Yeah. Hey, this way. Keep moving.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, but Kris, where do people find you on social media? What's best?
Let's see here. If you want to see me doing some practice work, you can see me on Substack there. Punk Rock Kris, 2 Ks, never 3. Well, there are 3. Two together Ks. Everything else, Instagram, Threads. Don't bother finding me on Facebook unless I'm actually your friend, because you're not going to see much there. Blue Sky, that's it. All Punk Rock Kris. Easy to find.
All the same. There's something to be said about self-branding.
Yes.
That makes a difference. Speaking of, because we're just hanging out. So remember that time on my Substack where I was like, I want to find an app that just I can post once and it goes everywhere. What I'm realizing is, why am I trying to find one thing to post multiple places instead of just focusing on one thing? So I'm going to keep my Instagram because I get a ton of people messaging me there. I'm just not going to be active on it anymore.
That's fine.
It is like what I'm going to be doing. This is also me like testing the waters of just saying it out loud and seeing how it feels. Not gonna lie, I have a little bit of anxiety. Like, I'm just not gonna post there anymore, because for the longest time I was only ever on Instagram. And after the live thing, I was just like, F this, Meta sucks, I'm done. But then I was also like the next day back on Instagram and was like, oh, what's going on? But I keep seeing people posting about like wasting all of this time doom scrolling instead of X or Y or Z. And I have too many things that I want to do to continue wasting time scrolling. And so I was like, instead of, and that's initially why I wanted to find an app or a platform that I could post once and it would send it everywhere. None of the ones that I found can also sync with Substack. I think probably because their notes feature is still relatively new. Because that's what I was hoping for, was I want to put the same thing and blast it to Threads and Blue Sky and Substack. That's what I wanted. And apparently no one has that, which is fine. That's free, because I'm not going to spend more money to post on social media. That's stupid. So I was like, this is what I'll just find that. And then the more time that I was wasting trying to find that, the more I was like, why am I trying to focus on finding a thing that allows me to post the same thing everywhere instead? And I heard PJ Curling again be like, this is where I am. If people don't like it, okay, but this is where I am. And I was just like, yeah, there's something to be said for that. So yeah, I'm not going to be active on Instagram. I still have it. I'll still get notified if people are sending me messages there. But same thing with Facebook. Like, I have all sorts of comic creators adding me as a friend on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking know you. I don't even know your name. Like, why are you adding me as a friend? This is not what Facebook is for. And so I think I'm going to go through and purge a lot of my Facebook stuff. And then the like marketing social media person in me is like, yeah, but you have like 1,400 friends on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, but who gives a shit? If only 6 people are seeing my post anyway, because I never post on there. Because I had it synced with my Instagram. So I'd post on Instagram and it would automatically go to Threads and to my Facebook. And I just like, why do I care? Like, why do I care? I don't open it. I'm not seeing return engagement from that. I see the same 3 people commenting on anything that I post. And so like, why do I give a shit if I have 1,300 people, if I have 3 conversations? So there's going to be a mass. And honestly, fueled by Weird Kris, him doing his purge, I was like, no, he's exactly right. Like, why do I care? I keep seeing all these posts when I do open Facebook of people that I don't even know. I'm like, I don't even know who am I friends with on this thing. Like, it's so-and-so is with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm like, I don't know any of those names. Why do I see this? So I'm just going to go through. That's going to be my task, for self-assigned task this week, is to go through social media and clean some shit up. So, because I'm having fun on Substack, and that'll allow me more time to like put together more zine style posts on Substack to get out there, because that's what I want to be doing. So, because how's this for do crime, make zines? It's good for you. One of my favorite stickers that's probably going to end up on my laptop under my keyboard, because
probably going to end up on my tombstone.
I just found my epitaph.
Yes. There you
go. That's why it's called Epitaphs from the Abyss. EC Comics. Just cool. I don't have anything else except to pose. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna get the keyboard shortcut. You know the deal. You guys see this all the time. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Let me see if I can look through the eyes.
Oh, you look like the villain from Slashback.
Yeah, just Perfect.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay.
I took a bunch of them. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just
That's
like,
fantastic.
yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
This was an
That is
enlightened
interesting.
conversation, and I'm glad I showed up for.
I also took one right when I pulled it up because both of you immediately started cackling. So I took a couple at the start too. Cool. Well, I mean,
There
see,
you go.
that's now, Kay, you need one.
I need one.
So that I was part of me, the way that you two are, part of me was hoping that when I did the pose, you both would be like, oh yeah, cool. And just have it there.
Two of you can.
But it's more fun if it's the two of you and then it's just me like, wait a second.
I'll have to get another one made.
That's my face. Dudes, I appreciate you. This is these are always just like us hanging out, and I love doing that. Also, because I just looked down and saw a note that I took on Wednesday. I talked to Max, I sent him what my idea was, and I got the okay, like, yeah, that's super great, send that. And so once I actually write that out, probably at work tomorrow, I'll be able to submit that, and it'll still be like 4 days before the deadline. So good for me. But there's that update. So I'll have a little
anthology.
So Max is putting together a zine that's got all sorts of stuff, comics, prose, poetry, whatever. And I am going to have an article in it that I have Stan Lee titled A Punk's Perspective. And it's just gonna, like, I'm handwriting it, and then I'm gonna take a picture of the handwriting and then send that, so that as it gets printed and copied, it feels very rough and very much like old school zine style. And if I handwrite it, I can embellish some of the letters, or I can draw little doodles in the margins or whatever. And because that's what I want to do. So it's probably all going to be horror themed and horror focused all year. It's a quarterly zine, so it'll come out every quarter. But it's always going to be something that's horror related from me, even though it's called A Punk's Perspective. The subtitle is on horror. So, yeah, but Max said, like, immediately when I commented, like, this is fucking awesome, that what a great idea to open this up to people. How I'm going to have to figure something out. And I was told I've got a reoccurring spot if I want it. So it's like, I want it. Yes, please. Thank you. So that's the deal with that. So now I can, once I submit it, I'll be able to finally cross that off my list of things to do. So yeah, so there's that. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for suffering through, or not suffering through, / I wish it was better, man. I just wanted it to be better. And tomorrow, or whenever, depending on when anybody is watching this replay, on Monday, October 27th at 7 p.m., Horror Panel 3 is happening. It's a makeup date in case you missed it at the beginning and tuned in late or skipped to the end. Join us back on October 27th.
The makeout date?
The makeout date. And we're going to make out digitally and talk about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So if you want to see how that happens, come back and watch then. Hang tight. I got logistics that you both already know. But for everybody else, thanks for tuning in. And if you like this, subscribe it and like it and follow it and do the things, and find these two fine gentlemanly creators on Substack. Find me there too at Longbox Punk. That's the easiest way. It's linked in the description. All the Substacks are linked below. So click those links and follow or subscribe or whatever you do on Substack. Make sure that you get our notifications. And then lastly, because it's October and because it's Halloween, I'm not going to tell you to go read some indie comics. I'm going to go tell you to watch some scary movies and read some scary comics, because we are out of here.